Guys, before we jump into the video, make sure you check out my HCS Seattle Worlds vlog video. It just came out today, and let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So, starting out, we got the Series E tournament that took place on November 7th, where 8 teams duked it out in a double elimination style bracket like always. We had quite a few teams that were actually in the running for taking this. We had 4 good ones, bring you to mind here. We had Ambitious, which was Rami, Envore, Tourney, 2-Turn, and Monster. We had Underground, which is Abature, Hative, Piggy, Shock. We had Roku Yaki, which is Barcode, Spartan, Huss, and Mortally. Then we had Palm Villains, which was Boo Boo Doo Suppressed, Av, and Diagram, sorry. And then we had Incognito, which was Mikwin, Rain, Ryanoob, and Carmea. All these teams really duked it out. That was actually 5 teams that I named off there. But breaking down the bracket, I'm not going to break down the whole thing. It'll take forever. But in the winners finals, we had Palm Villains and Ambitious duke it out for that winners final spot there. Now, Ambitious just totally, just taking this one 2-1 against Palm Villains. And now they fought on Bizarre CTF, and Ambitious took that first game 2-1. Pretty close, But Aqua Slayer was where Palm actually came out and showed themselves, and it was a 50-38 win for them. Quite dominant, if you ask me, for that last little bit. Streets King of the Hill is where Ambitious fought back and pretty much, shut down Palm and beat them 4-2. To knock them down to the losers finals. Now, in the losers semis, we had Underrated and Incognito. Underrated and Incognito duked it out. Now, Underrated's got So Snaky, Gunplexion, Despiteful, and Suhaven, whatever you say. But Incognito took that whole series 2-0 and shut them down. Now, they played Livefire, King of the Hill. Incognito beat them dominantly 3-1. Street Slayer, though, Incognito also beat them pretty, I would say, dominantly, but it was quite a stretch there, 50-43 to knock them out of the tournament to move on to face Palm Villains. Now, Palm Villains was able to put up a decent little bit of a fight, but Bizarre CTF was where Incognito shines, and they edged them out 2-1. Recharge Slayer, Incognito fought back 50-48 and took that game. And then it was also, like I said, it was a best of 3. So Street Strongholds was the last match where they dominated completely, 250-160, and moved on to fight Ambitious in the finals, the grand finals that is, where Ambitious just took the series 2-1. Recharge Strongholds was 250-100 in Ambitious' favor, just shutting out Incognito completely in that. Fire Slayers, where Incognito bounced back, where they always usually do very well, that old United squad, but they took that 50-46, followed up by Bizarre CTF, where Ambitious was just barely able to edge out Incognito 3-2 to win the Series E and prevent the reset, guys. Now, moving on over to the Halo Rec League, we had a primer tournament. We had 2 different divisions. We had the Challenger Contender tier, which was basically 2 divisions put into one. We had quite a few teams. It was only about, I think about 8 teams that showed up, but I'm going to go over some of the last rounds here. Round 3 in the winners finals, we had OG Fam Esports taking on Arcane, where Arcane beat them 2-0. We had Old Mary Guys shutting down Boom Room and sending them to the losers bracket 2-0. And then Team Arcane sending Old Mary Guys to the losers bracket 3-0. Over in the losers bracket, we had quite a few rounds play out here. We had round 5, OG Fam Esports going up against Cooking Up, and Cooking Up just cooking them alive 2-1 to move on to beat Old Mary Guys in round 6 and beating them 2-0 to send themselves to the grand finals, where Team Arcane just shut them down and swept them 3-0 to prevent the reset in that tournament and taking the Challenger Contender tier championship primer tournament. Over, though, in the next tier for the primer tournament, we had the Champion Master tier. This one had significantly a lot more teams. I want to say there was about 18 teams in this one. In the round 3 winners bracket, we had Hyperbolic taking on Zero Common, shutting them and sweeping them 3-0, sending them to the losers bracket, followed by Red Raid shutting down Spectre Esports 2-1, and Hyperbolic shutting down Red Raid 3-0 in a best of 5. But in the losers bracket, this is where all the good stuff usually goes down. Zero Common beating CE Esports 2-0, followed by Spectre Esports taking down Beastie Boys 2-0. And then they fought each other, where Spectre Esports came out on top and took down Zero Common 2-1 to go ahead and play Red Raid in the round 6, basically losers finals, and beat them 2-0 to move on to the grand finals to take on Hyperbolic. And it was another sweep for this grand finals for Hyperbolic, shutting down Spectre Esports 3-0 to prevent the reset and be your champions of the Champion Master Tier Primer Tournament for the Halo Rec League. Guys, the Halo Rec League is not going to start for another 2 weeks. We had a glitch with the King of the Hill. The removal of Argyle is going to set that season off a little bit, but don't worry, it's going to be there shortly here, following up in the next couple of weeks. And then, you know, always stay tuned for the Series E. I'm going to give you guys the updates on that stuff and show you what's going on with the bracket. All the links to these brackets are in the description below, as well as that HCS Seattle vlog video. Check that out, please. I put a little bit of work into that one. Try to do my best with the editing skills that I have. So anyways, guys, this is C4, and I'll see you in the next video.